A major Japanese TV program had warned that Japan could face a serious naphtha shortage by this June. Naphtha is a key raw material for making plastics and petrochemicals derived from oil refining. They said supply disruptions from Middle East tensions could hit Japan hard. But within 24 hours, the Japanese government and multiple experts pushed back hard that is not true. So who is right? And more importantly, why are two expert-backed narratives completely opposite of each other? This story begins on the Japanese news program, Hōdō Tokushū. This is one of Japan's major mainstream investigative news programs on TBS. To understand its positioning, it is generally viewed as center-left leaning. It has a mass national TV audience. It is known for critical reporting of government and corporate issues. It operates in traditional broadcast media with strong editorial framing. In a segment about Middle East tensions, the show featured Haruhiko Sakai, CEO of Connect Energy. He warned that if the situation continues, Japan could face a naphtha shortage by June 2026. Let's add some context here. Haruhiko Sakai runs Connect Energy, a firm focused on LPG energy distribution and consulting. Soon after, a Prime Minister of Japan, Sanae Takaichi, personally made a statement to reiterate that Japan has at least 4 months of supply secured and that the idea of a June shortage is factually incorrect. So now we have a mainstream TV warning and a direct government denial from the Japanese Prime Minister. The strongest pushback came from Toranomon News, primarily an online, YouTube-based program, and generally considered right-leaning and conservative. This program is known for skeptical takes on mainstream media narratives. Their audience is smaller, but highly engaged and politically active. On this program, Takahashi Yōichi, a well-known political and economic commentator and a former advisor to former Prime Minister Abe, strongly disputed the shortage narrative. His core argument is simple but powerful. He stated that the entire premise misunderstands how oil refining works. Takahashi went on to explain that when crude oil is refined, it is not separated into independent isolated products on demand. Instead, it produces a bundle of outputs simultaneously such as gasoline, diesel, kerosene, heavy fuel oil, and naphtha. Therefore, that you cannot realistically run out of naphtha alone while crude oil refining continues normally. As long as crude oil supply exists, refineries operate, and output is adjusted, Japan can rebalance production. Hence, the June shortage narrative oversimplifies a complex system. Japan does import naphtha, but not because of structural weakness. Instead, because plastics and petrochemical demand is very high while domestic production is optimized across multiple outputs. So imports are a supplement for demand balancing, not a survival dependency. So what do we actually learn from this? We have a mainstream TV warning of shortage that elicits and government denial, and alternative media experts rejecting the premise based on a complex energy system misunderstood in simplified reporting. On Toranomon News, critics argue that Hōdō Tokushū often selects emotionally strong expert comments, edits interviews into short, impactful segments, and prioritizes narrative clarity over system complexity. But here's the key. These are two completely different media environments. Hōdō Tokushū is a mass broadcast TV with a broad national audience and a center-left framing. There is an incentive for clarity plus urgency plus impact. Toranomon News online digital platform, smaller but ideologically engaged audience, right-leaning framing. Incentive, skepticism of mainstream narratives. Same topic, completely different, framing logic. Meanwhile, Toranomon News is a more recent online digital platform that is smaller but ideologically engaged audience with a right-leaning framing. Their incentive is skepticism of mainstream narratives. Hence, same topic, but though completely different framing logics. But the key takeaway is this: that this is less about naphtha actually, and more about how narratives are constructed in Japanese society. Because once you understand the system, the crisis becomes far less certain than the headline suggests. If you want more breakdowns like this, where we unpack Japanese media narratives, geopolitics, and how systems actually work, subscribe and drop a comment on what topic I should break down next.